Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Annie Hutchings here from Capsule Closet Girl, and today I have a tutorial for you on how to round brush your own hair. There's a couple things that you're going to need for this. First of all, you need a clip, some kind of heat protectant for your hair. This is bedhead blowout, a texturizing spray or a dry shampoo, and some kind of mousse. And of course, a blow dryer. This one's from Target. It's a little bit beat up. I've used it a lot, but I've absolutely loved it. First thing I'm going to do is throw a little bit of mousse right into the roots of my hair. So I'm actually gonna rub that through my hands, almost like a lotion, and then just start rubbing it into my roots. And you can see that my hair is about 80% dry already. That is ideal when you're round brushing your hair. It's going to save you a ton of time and effort. So whether that's you blow drying it or just letting it air dry, let it get to about 80% dry before you start drying it. Now I'm going to put a little bit of that heat protectant in there, and I'm going to smooth that through all of my hair and mostly the ends. That's where most of the damage is, and that's where you want to protect. So rub some kind of heat protectant through your hair to protect it from that blow dryer. Now I'm going to start pulling my hair up into sections here, but first I need to show you the brushes that I'm using. I've got one large and one pretty small round brush. Those will be linked below for you. And let's get blow drying here. So 1-inch section around my whole head. And I always start on the side of my head here. So I'm going to clip that up. And I'm gonna go ahead and start round brushing. So you'll notice here with my big round brush, I actually put my blow dryer right against the brush. I know that's kind of scary. As long as you have a heat protectant in there, you should be good. Use your cool shot as often as you need to. And I just pull it down with the blow dryer right against the round brush the whole time, kind of curling it up. And then this is the trick. This is the money right here. When you feel like it's all the way dry, roll it up and leave the brush in there until it completely cools. Because it's actually your hair cooling that will set it. It's not the heat necessarily, it's how it cools. Another cool trick with this is to use 2 round brushes that are around the same size. So if you have 2 big round brushes, use your round brush on one section and then leave the round brush in that section, and then while you blow dry another section with the other round brush, if that makes sense. So you see, I just let it sit there until it cools. And then I'm gonna move on to the back section here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to round brush my hair. You can see I'm round brushing it straight up. You wanna round brush in the exact opposite direction of how you want your hair to lay, and that's gonna give you way more volume in your hair. And then I'm just gonna work in about 1 to 1.5 inch sections all the way up my head until I get to the mohawk section of my hair. And you can see I'm just holding it right against the brush. And then I'll roll it up, let it cool. Another thing you can use instead of a round brush to set the hair is those Velcro rollers. You know those big Velcro rollers that like your mom or your grandma uses? They are awesome for this. So once you've round brushed a section, you can take one of those get the biggest size you can, and roll up that section into that Velcro roller and just let it sit there while you're working on different parts of your hair, and you'll get a ton of volume and your curl will stay a lot better that way. It's really all about how the hair sets. So I'm just going to continue working these lower sections. Curl it up there. This is my last section before the mohawk section. And the mohawk section is the most important part. It's the part that you want to get the most volume out of because that's the top of your hair. Just makes sense, right? Okay, once we let that set, let's move on to the mohawk section. So here is where I'm going to start using a texturizing spray or some kind of dry shampoo. What that does is it makes my hair feel dirty. That sounds funny, but that allows for my hair to really hold the volume really, really well. So what I'm going to do is spray that at the roots like I just did there. And then I'm going to round brush my hair, all of my mohawk section, towards my face as much as I can. Because like I said before, if I blow dry in the opposite direction, it's going to give it the best possible volume. Okay, next section, about 1.5 inch sections from the back of your mohawk section to the front, to your fringe. Hold that blow dryer right against the brush there, and then let it set. The mohawk section especially, it's really helpful to use multiple round brushes or a Velcro roller. Spray in that texturizing spray right at the roots there. The cool thing about dry shampoo and texturizing spray is it doesn't add any more moisture to your hair necessarily, so it's not going to add more blow drying time. It just gives it the texture that you want and the volume that you want without adding any additional time. Okay, here is the very last section. I'm going to do this a little different. This is where I'm going to use my small brush. I don't want to round brush this straight back, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to round brush it down and away from my face, just like I would use a curling iron. You want that fringe section to always be either curled or blow dried away from your face. So I'm going to round brush down and away from my face, curling away from my face. That's really all I use the small brush for, and it's really just because I have a little more control with that smaller brush. You could probably even get away with it with a bigger brush. That's pretty much it, and then I'll just take one quick go with the blow dryer on my roots to make sure that everything is dry so that the volume will stay and everything is set. And it's honestly that simple. It's done. That easy. Thanks for watching, guys. Go follow me over on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll see you next week.